Good evening, all. I hope you are receiving us loud and clear. It looks like everything is working smoothly. Uh, all right. So, indeed, tonight we have a good amount to go over in current events. And looking back, we indeed had a Valentine's Day, a time for uh, your better halves and what have you coming together to spend some time and so forth. And we also had Mattel Creations dropping the uh, evil in from the Masterverse line there, the Dark Evil in figure, and at the same time they dropped us with Wave 12. Indeed, that was a surprise that took many for a six, I tell you. So there was Roboto, Tongue Lasher, Hypno, Snake Armor Skeletor, and indeed the next in the Rulers of the Sun lineup, Duplico there. And so, without further ado, we shall start our intro. I am, of course, Eldor, or the Masterversal-Toyhunter, the keeper of the Book of Living Spells. And with me tonight is my co-host, Adam from Medical Toys.
Hey,
as
how's
always.
everybody? How's everybody doing?
Together, when we call upon the powers of Grayskull, we become masters of the Motu News.
The Motu News.
Indeed.
And awesome stuff.
So, yes, welcome all in the chat this fine hour.
Yeah, we've got Eternity Ellipse is in the house, so welcome in, Eternity Ellipse. Good to see you.
Good
Always
evening.
a pleasure. We've got Radical Mums also in the house. We'll give you a wave from Orko.
Oh, good to see you again.
We've got Giraffe is in the house. Awesome stuff.
Good to see you, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, and we've got Brick Something. So awesome. Brick's in the house too.
Glad you could join us, Brick Something, sir.
We got Snake Mount Squad. He's in the house, or that individual, I should say. Awesome stuff. We've got Dubaya J is in the house. Cool stuff. So greetings. And we got Pain Toy Samples. And we've got Thanos Copper. So awesome stuff. So yeah, awesome. Thanks for joining us in, guys.
So yes, greetings indeed. So a lot of you are tuning in from wherever you are. I know Brick Something, he's in his Road Ripper, traveling home, I suppose. So he's listening in to us. And yes, we're happy you can all join us indeed. So, what is the future of Masters of the Universe looking like? And indeed, when it was first brought out in the 80s, there's a bit of a mini comic and toy line there. So the children had their mini comics to help them along their way in their adventures and how they played with their figures and so forth. And yes, and the Filmation came about, a bit of a TV media and so forth. And that indeed graced the screens for a good wee while. And we also had Princess She-Ra, Princess of Power, come out not too long after that, I think, and a few specials there when Prince Adam becomes reunited with his sister. Of course, she was kidnapped by the evil Horde. And yes, then things sort of took a bit of a hiatus there for a good many years. And then we had another series pop up, He-Man, the new adventures of He-Man, or the Galactic Protectors, and that indeed went on for a good few cycles, and a couple of toy lines came out to supplement that to keep the brand going, I suppose. So that they indeed were trying new stories and and new animation styles. I think the animations switched hands a few times or something, and then there's another dry spell after that. I think they tried to bring out a few games there, Ed and Sir, to uh, to indeed keep the Master of the Universe fresh in the mind of the masses, as it were. Maybe a couple of comic books by Marvel, or I think it is. And then finally we had was it 200X, Masters of the Universe that ran for a good wee while, and again had its a toy line, respective toy line, come with it, and of course, just like the new adventures, I don't think it's set well with many of the the aging fans are there, and they did have a hard time, I think, selling the 2000X figures, which I believe were molded by was it the Four Horsemen, I think. They did much of the sculpt work on those figures that you're calling statutes, and now so they were partly statuesque, I believe we say, or then they had a little bit of articulation and what have you, bit of head movement and so forth. But some of the designs weren't too bad indeed. And then, of course, things went quiet again, and until I think Mattel started up Masters of the Universe Classics there, and then a short time after, I think the Four Horsemen took that over for a little while, and then the license shifted to Super 7, and they continued the Classics line, and indeed, Scott Knightley was had a big hand in getting all those figures out and getting things sorted out there to with hopes of continuing the brand line. And then that sort of closed down, I think, around the time they released the final playset of Snake Mountain, which was a lovely piece to behold indeed. And yes, so that ended shortly after. I think they had a few other offerings, the Ultimates, Motu Ultimates, and was it Club Grey Skull was selling a few things, and they also released the Super 7 Vintage line there, and that was of course the vintage figures sort of re-released with different types of joint points, but they were released on the vintage style card, and now we have Master of the Universe Revelation animation series that has come out recently there, just on the heels of Motu Origins coming out, and that spurred on the Masterverse toy line to come out there. And they also indeed included Rulers of the Sunman line into Origins and 2000X, and they've been developing aspects of the vintage Motu stickers and cardboard or moldings into actual action figures now to help spur on the Origins line. So, indeed, what are our thoughts on how the future is looking? Because I see a lot of stock on Masterverse, and indeed Origins has been taking a wee while to move along in the store shelves there and sell on. So a good bit of chatter has been going around of late. I'm wondering if the Origins line might be ending soon, and or whether it would be just going to your online sales rather than being in the stores. And a lot of people would miss that because they enjoy the hunt. A good many collectors there do indeed.
Yeah,
And
it's a good.
it's
That's a
what you
good
can
point.
find.
That's a good point because I just came from my Walmart and my GameStop, and Walmart was completely bare. Like the shelves were completely wiped out. There was nothing there at all. So I was really surprised. So yeah, I think online is going to be the way to go here in the near future. I think.
Hmm. Yes, it is interesting. Of course, Origins was released around the time of your great pandemic there on Earth. The what are they calling it? The COVID or something, and that closed a lot of operations down, a lot of businesses while they were sorting through all that, and no doubt buying toys was on the least of people's minds. Most were panicking in the supermarkets, trying to buy up all the TP or whatever that is. But, was it toilet paper or something? But yes, I don't suspect many toys were purchased there. Many were trying to be careful of their money and deal with not being with being able without work. And
Yep.
well, I know some businesses might have kept the old cash flow running. Some might have worked from home and so forth. But yes, between buying toys and being able to keep the power going and food on the table, I think one thing leads to another, and the toys soon mount up. But indeed, things have slowly been working their way to a sense of normality, shall we say. And people are starting to buy the toys. Of course, we had the kid adults saga going around saying the adults have saved the toy brands and what have you. What's your
Yes,
thoughts
sir.
there, sir?
Yeah, awesome stuff. So we got Punk with Toys is in the chat, so welcome in. It's great
Uh,
to see you.
Good evening there, Thomas with Toys, sir. Good to see you
Yeah.
indeed.
Snake Mountain Squad says has a good point. I don't know how the future looks, but I'm thankful for today and figures that I have, which is a really good point. And that's probably the way we should think of things: is enjoy the now and what we have and what we can actually get. So that's a good point.
Yes, and no doubt a few of us are bursting at the seams, full of action figures with your shelves, rather. Uh, but it's that collectability or the FOMO that sets in that you you feel you want to you know grab anything you can off the shelves and get all the names to complete your set. But indeed, I've seen talk about some moving their vintage figures into storage to protect them and supplementing their Motu collections with the origins
Yeah.
line. Indeed, it would be lasting a
Um,
bit longer.
yeah, I saw that you picked up Roboto and stuff. Did you guys have a hard time with that wave over there? Wave 3? Like did you guys just recently get them over there, or are you just
I
picking up
think
some?
as I came into the line late, so I might
Oh,
have
I
missed a
see.
lot of the initial first waves, but I think a good many were into it by then. But so far, we've just been lingering around wave 5 and wave 9
Okay.
so far. So it has been troublesome getting it into every store. I mean, some stores have been getting it more than others, mostly up in the North Island there.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
we'll back up the
And we got Ray Black. She made it. Awesome. So
oh
gotta give wave to
Ray
Ray.
Black. Good to see you indeed.
Yeah.
Good evening.
She says I had to do a quick Pepsi run. Guess I wasn't so quick. I'm starting to wonder where you were, but it's okay. You made it in.
And Juba J. I'm at my geomancy dealing with all the headaches running FIDOM and none of the perks no novels get. Oh, I hope your headaches clear up there. They're never a good thing to have, indeed.
Yeah.
Will put you out and lying down and what have you to get rid of all that. I do indeed have one Super 7 vintage figure, which I unveiled in my top 10 acquisitions of 2022, and that was the Super 7 vintage Orco, which I have right beside me here,
Oh,
with a version
awesome.
of him.
One of
So yes,
me.
there was one I managed to find.
Cool.
Oh yes, we've had him, and here we are. Jay, I had an idea for a story, Skeletor. Slimes, the Horde, and Snake Men finally getting control over the evil factions. Snake Tealer and Snake Man at Arms escape and are forced to rejoin their old allies in Eternia. So yes,
Cool.
uh, there is a bit of imagination I see coming out there of late, especially with people making customs, and of course they're making a story to go with the character they have created. So indeed, the future of Motu is branching off into those areas. We see more customs coming out. Of course, since Origins was released, I don't think we saw too much of that around the Motu Classics line, although I know a few that do the old customs using those figures. Hebro is one of those fellows. I know he mixes and matches some of the parts of
Yeah.
those old classics figures, and indeed he gets into a lot of those customs. So indeed, Origins has branched off, especially with its mix and match feature there, allowing you to pop all the different limbs off and rework and make something new, or if you need to make a new likeness, you can add a bit of sculpting material, a bit of putty here and there to change the look of your character. And indeed, a good few able to do that with Masterverse. With what you can pop and swap, of course. Some other areas take a bit more surgery there to remove and add another part, but it's doable with a bit of effort. Yes, that indeed furthers what can be seen in the future and what people are showing and putting out there. Because indeed, for any good thing to survive, you need to have it constantly in your face there, like you have had with your Star Wars and so forth. Although a lot of toy stores they took big risks back in those days, and some decided not to, and later on they found they lost out. So indeed, it is hard to know uh, what the future might hold. If you do take the risk, you might lose your profits or what have you. But indeed, it's been all about the keeping the profits and skimping out on many aspects, as we do indeed see with Origins. They left out a lot of the play features that you used to get in Vintage, but mind you, they've kept a few, and they of course recently brought back one major play feature that most of the figures had was the flipping back motion, like with your recent Thunder Punch He-Man, although they were putting a bit of a snap in there to make it almost like the cap effect. We used to have the caps in the Thunder Punch He-Man, but a similar gimmick anyway, what you used to get for the figures. And we had a Mosquito with his blood pumping feature, and in the Battle Armor He-Man, and what have you. So, indeed, the play features have been finding their way uh, into some of the figures, but I feel the mix and match is the major
Yeah.
player as
It
far as
it
play features go for modern
it's
times.
it seems so inconsistent with the action features, like whether the character is going to get it or not. So it's a anyone's guess if the next one's going to have an action feature or not. I just think it's really strange, and I'm wondering what makes them decide which one to pick, because I've had some individuals say that, well, they're probably picking the articulation over the action features, which characters like Thunder Punch He-Man would totally counter against that, because he you can't pull him apart, and he's got an action feature. It's not the one that we're familiar with, but it's just really strange how inconsistent the line is when it comes to action features.
I suppose they have to be rather careful about how in depth they go with the mechanisms. I mean, it certainly would be possible to keep the mix and match. I don't know whether they've thought about any other aspects, but to save time and indeed extra pieces and moldings, uh, they've opted to go without most of those play features. Of course, as I brought up the bottle there before, I believe they've kept his little gadgetry.
I
I got
love him. I actually picked up 3 of him because I opened one initially and then I did an unboxing of him live, and then I still have another one on card. I love Roboto because that action feature is so awesome. I love how the gears will change and then his mouth will go up and down. That's why I bought so many of them because I was so impressed with it. And you can still pull them apart from the waist. That's the bonus part about it. You can still fully pull them apart, except for the head.
as you can with Ratlaw there. Uh,
Right.
he still keeps the rattle sounding gimmick, just not so much with the neck extension, but you can indeed pull him off from the torso, or this time even give him a bit of torso articulation, where of course you couldn't do that with the vintage figure. It was just a solid piece around the quad area and the torso, as it were.
Right.
Of course, it was also housing the neck extension feature. And
And we got
yes,
see we got my buddy's customs. He dropped in. Thank you
oh,
for
good
dropping in.
evening there, my buddy, sir. Indeed.
And we also got Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse. He's in the house too. Awesome stuff.
Welcome in there, sir. Indeed. And so we have Giraffe here. I can only find Origins now at a comic shop and at a big local toy store near me. The big 2 Target and Walmarts have run dry in Origins. So, yes, in some states, some areas we see they can't get rid of them or certain characters, and in
Yep.
others they just completely drop the line, or what have you, or someone's gone in there and bought up all the good ones, and he's selling them on your evil bay. I hear you calling it. So
Yeah.
that also can throw a bit of a spanner in the works, shall we say, of trying to find these figures at reasonable prices. And yes, so it is interesting seeing how hard it has been to find these things, and making people wonder if that's going to be the last. But of course, we've had so many reveals that are yet to come out, all the way up to wave 15, and indeed the Talon fighter that everybody's been scouring the internet to see more images on, aside from that Spielberg and Messi toy show video that let slip a few glimpses of indeed the Talon fighter and Snake Mountain. Snake Mountain's, I think, due around the end of the year, around October or something. So a bit of a wait still to go yet. But I see the releasing Talon fighter, I think, was around April, is it, or June or something, or August? And so yes, we no doubt be seeing more photos or images to surface of that. Snake Mountain Squad. I am definitely with uh, I am definitely with no use dwelling on when it ends. Let's embrace and enjoy what we're getting to have in a possible key at best. Well, yes, we're not so much talking about when things end, but what is the future Eternian Ellipse going to be for Masters of the Universe? Because we know it has quietened down and then picked up uh, uh, over the eons, shall we say, from time to time, and as of course as us generation ages, because we're not getting any younger, I tell you. And yes, so what are we doing to continue the future of Masters of the Universe there?
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they'll do. What will take over? Like, where will Masters of the Universe be after after Masterverse and Origins? I'm very curious to see what they will do.
So going back, yes, the FOMO is one thing they've employed. Whether they have or not is anybody's guess, but we do know they go through all these psychological testings and things when they're bringing out toys to see uh, how to best hook you in there, shall we say? Uh, and yes, the FOMO and the limited figures definitely gets people's pulses racing there. and with your exclusives, your con exclusives, and your Target or Walmart exclusives, and or be it the Mattel Creations exclusive figures. They don't tend to last that long indeed. But I see a Dark Evil Inn is still going strong there on the Mattel Creations site, as is the He-Man 40th 4-pack of the Origins He-Mans there. That also included the New Adventures He-Man in that lot. So it is one aspect that they're trying to do to uh, uh, be a selling point for most of their product. But what are things really looking like for the younger generation moving forward? Indeed, we do see some videos of little boys, ripping into their Castle Origins, Castle Grayskulls, and what have you, and playing with the figures with their fathers, because the fathers have introduced them, or the mothers also have introduced their children to the lines that they used to play with when they were their age. And so we do see that out and about, and occasionally some photos of people sharing the joy their children had by, holding up the Origins figures they have just received, whether they've gone out with a bit of an outing with the parents, or a bit of a birthday or a Christmas present or something. So those have indeed been popping up. So it's good to see that the younger generation is indeed, for the some part of it, picking up on Masters of the Universe, and indeed with having She-Ra, the Netflix She-Ra, and the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe in their different styles, to try and captivate the younger generation, being more into their computer games and what have you. So
Yep.
yes, it's a lot of testing the water there indeed.
I really want to see the Princess of Power characters come. I really hope they get here before the Masterverse line ends. I hope we see more of them.
So indeed, uh, uh, Masterverse is still relatively young compared to Origins, so there's still a multitude of other characters they can still yet bring out there if they decide to indeed carry on the line. That is, and so still much they can bring out there. I remember Scott saying at one point, uh, uh, if you release too many things at once, you kind of leave yourself scraping the bottom of the barrel, as it were, for something else to keep going. But
Yeah.
indeed, we did see a lot of exclusives from Mattel Creations being, run out one after the other, and you're like, oh gosh, how can I keep up? My poor wallet.
Yeah.
No, there's no time to save for the next drop and what have you, and indeed, Master of the Universe is not the only line that Mattel is producing, mind you. You have your Hot Wheels and Barbies, and I believe they also brought up was it the Fisher Price or something
I'm
for
with
the
um
youngsters.
I'm with what Doobie AJ here is saying. This is why I'm staying with Masterverse and Classics. They have the most characters. I'm still trying to grab some more Classics. I've been bidding and bidding on them, but forever losing the bid wars on them. But yeah, I feel you.
Gee.
I've been trying to get more Classics before they're so high that you just won't be able to.
And Giraffe says, it seems like they have fans of the property at Mattel working on Origins. Indeed, we have seen that in interviews with Pixel Dan around when Origins was first rolling out there, which with deep cuts recently, yes, a few there with Frog Manga, Koldar, and Moti, the Moon Monster. We had the space suit, although not that was not really a deeper cut. It came with every cast Grayskull as a cardboard piece originally, so it was one aspect we know about. It was just a shame they didn't bring that figure out with the Castle Grayskull set. Instead, they released it with the Temple of Darkness Sorceress. and they released another set that picks their knees up. I recall that was a bit of a saga going on at one point. The knees looked a bit funny on some of the female origins figures like Evil Lynn and Tila there. Yes, so they've been listening to the fans, I see too, a lot, and they've been making changes, especially around the 40th Masterverse He-Man figure. The washes were a bit too much. Some people were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, once in a while, Mattel throws us a bone like they did with the Grizzlor. I wish they would do it more often, but once in a while they do.
Yes, of course, we've had a few announced to come out soon in Masterverse. Your Prince Adam, Buzz Off, Whiplash, and Web Store, I think it was, or in Grizzlor, Radman, and a few others there that they're looking to bring out in Masterverse. So I know we can't wait for those indeed. So we've got to wonder if they're going to do more filmation in Masterverse coming out soon.
I'm thinking so too, because
most of it's been the new Eternia, and indeed Revelation, and no doubt Revolution when that series rolls out next on the Netflix there.
I could see them doing that in the Masterverse, the filmation-based ones. Granted, they still have a lot of the access to the characters. I don't know if they do or not, because things change, right? Like, I know they did somewheres halfway through the Classics line, I think. They started getting some of the filmation characters in because they started to have more open rights to them, according to Scott Knightlick. So hopefully that'll be the case with Masterverse. It'd be nice to see some filmation ones come back.
Because indeed, with initial interviews that Pixel Dan did, he was talking about how, or it might have been in one of his first reviews of Masterverse, that their plans for that was to pick and choose and bring in different, corners of the franchise there, so they can cover anywhere from filmation to Revelation, and going further, and even with the movie that has been talked about for quite a while. Of course, the last movie we had was the 80s one with Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. And I know we did have a couple of specials in filmation. They had one Christmas special and what have you, where his skeleton gets a bit nicer than he usually is.
Maybe that's exactly what we'll see. Maybe we'll see a film, and then if you see a film, the action figures are sure to follow with the film. So if they do that, that would be really good. It'd be a new way to open up a new line.
So back to Giraffe. So maybe they'll fight to keep it going on Creations, BPTS, and Entertainment Earth. So yes, we did had a few drops there yesterday, both on Big Bad Toy Store and in Entertainment Earth, which we'll move on to in a little bit. But let's see what. Sorry about the chat there. We're moving on to you. A few greeting everybody, of course, and Punk with Toys. Thunder Punch He-Man should have come with caps and been a Mattel Creations exclusive.
Yep, I 100% agree.
I think he talked about that in one of his live streams recently.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah, I find Thunder Punch He-Man ain't the same to me without those caps. So, yeah, I totally agree.
It'll be interesting to see how well he's doing with though. He's sold out a few times, but I think he's back up on the Big Bad Toy Store now, so I was able to jump on one of him.
Yeah, and, he's actually hit a few places in our Canadian secondary market as well. There's a few places I noticed today that he started to drop. He's going for like $39.99 secondary market. It's not too bad.
So yes, and of course you can still buy those caps too for other gimmicks that you can get at your dollar stores, like your little cap guns and so forth. So indeed, there's no end to having those at your disposal.
Yeah.
There was another one, Cyclone. I was going to talk about after Roboto there. Well, he had his arms fling up there as he spins around. hopefully. So yes, he has been teased quite a bit on the card arts, and no doubt uh, speculation has been whether he might be out in wave 15 there, or 16 or something. But we have had a few mini comics, many faces, and so on, and Extendar, and Rock On and Stone Dar. Some other theories out there. I see Toy Habits. Their news in one of their latest news postings on their website. They showed a few possibilities that we might see there. Of course, they if they can't find the actual image of the figure and what have you, they will indeed source out either someone's custom or another bit of art to put over a box just to stand in there, where they talk about it. So
Yeah.
yes. Well, would we see even Twistoid and Rotar? I think they named for the spinning tops.
Oh, give me
Rotar
the give me Rock On and Stone Dar, and I'll be happy.
Indeed. So yes, some of them have been okay without the play features, I feel. So yes, and there was talk about the CGI series possibly being cancelled, but no, we've had a bit of news there that it was going to be picked back up. I think around August or something. Was it a season 4 there for that show? But that might be it. Really, we've had the CGI Mossman drop yesterday. I saw him on the Lulu Baloo French toy website there, and then he popped up yesterday on Big Bad Toy Store, but they didn't quite have the images sorted out, and he popped up with another version of Skeletor as well, and so today the images have finally been put out for those.
Cool. Oh, we
So,
got before we move on, we got Hillian Dreads in the house, and we got Mr. Home Arcade has joined us. Welcome in. Awesome stuff.
So the new Tony line has been rather good, giving the options to, of course, have your figures displayed in any different number of ways, mostly harkening back to original concept arts. And I
Yeah.
think that in the filmation or the way the vintage figures looked or something. But having those options is indeed a good idea for the line.
I
So a lot
find
of those are.
I find the new Eternia ones are the best ones in Masterverse. They are fantastic.
Thank you there, Sergeant Slaughter, sir. Indeed. So we're trying to get down the questions there. We see you. I picked something. I definitely love the more new Eternia. Looking forward to the Princess of Power and Revolution. So more Princess of Power coming out soon. Did we have had She-Ra in both Origins and Masterverse, and we had Ketra in Masterverse, but not quite yet in Origins, and they're none of the princesses yet. So maybe they're possibly still trying to decide what to do there, whether to keep them with the plastic head hair molding like we've had on Tila there so far, and indeed with Ketra and Masterverse, when they're looking to maybe get the realistic hair, or just keep it all as plastic molding. It will be interesting to see how that goes, and there's no doubt more to be released. In the Evil Horde for Origins, you had your Modulock there. Of course, there's some parts being used in Frogmonger, some people have pointed out. And we have Dragstore and maybe Shadow Weaver for Origins too, because she was just dropped there yesterday. But I know some people got that wave in hand many months ago with the Sorceress and Pighead and all that. But I hope we get more Rulers of the Sun. Indeed, that's another aspect they've used to continue the line there. And they could also move in with Powers of Grayskull as well, because I'm a bit overdue for an action figure, I think. But we didn't see a glimpse of Keklam there and what they're capable of in that respect. And then maybe a hero as well. Old hero there. So, hope you get more of the sun, even some 2000X stuff. Yes. We're seeing more new adventures stuff coming out in Masterverse. I don't think we've seen anything of 2000X gracing Masterverse. They've only been doing that so far with the Origins there. We've had Snake Teela come out.
I'd love to see some more new Adventures He-Man stuff come out. Like the characters, like the Sorceress version of the New Adventures is right up my alley. So characters like that, I'd love to see them come back.
Of course, the New Adventures Skeletor has just popped up on some listings too, mostly on that French website there. So I don't think he'll be too far behind being dropped, as some are starting to get the Galactic Protector He-Man from the New Adventures line.
Oh man, please bring back the Galactic She-Ra. Man, I love what they did with classics with her. Bring her back. I want that figure.
So yes, but I love the CGI He-Man outfit done with the House Masterverse style. Yes, with the nice articulation. Those CGI figures did look a wee bit better than the cheaper ones, but it's good that they're trying to branch more out to the younger generation and what they're into with the games. Of course, we've had the controversial Crypt toys come out there, the digital block action figures, trying to be more aimed at the youngsters, and they're developing games to go along with those. And indeed, I asked them if they would consider releasing action figures with maybe a bit of a code underneath them, like you had with the Disney and Infinity figures from your Marvel and other such franchises. I believe they did of that game. And because you know why some I like their games and stocking up on their level ups and what have you. Still, those are like the tangible art of collecting, indeed.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Let's. Mattel kept out the caps to avoid. Oh yes, you possibly have a danger aspect to having things like combustible, especially when transporting them on aircraft or what have you.
Yep.
I know they have issues with the batteries there.
And it's an interesting it's a very interesting point, because I'm pretty sure, if I had to guess, it's probably a policy put in place by Mattel, it's not actual law, because you can actually still get caps and cap guns in places like the dollar store and stuff. But yeah, I see what you're saying, because they probably put it in place as a policy. They've done it actually with a couple classics figures too. Like if you remember back when they did Masters of the Universe Classics bow, they weren't allowed to put the string on the bow unless the arrows were actually sculpted, because it could be used as a weapon. So yeah, so it's like a policy versus law. So it's kind of it's an interesting topic.
That's been an aspect that's plagued many toy lines in the past. You may recall around the time of Battlestar Galactica, another serial that came out there. The spring gimmicks and the missiles, and that caused choking or something horrible there. So that influenced the missile firing Boba Fett coming out from the Star Wars line. So although we have seen missile options coming back, they just haven't been, I think, as powerful. But indeed, there's a bit more a give to having a bow, I suppose.
Yeah.
And we've also had Mr. Home Arcade in there. So indeed, we've been talking on this first part of the segment about the future of Master of the Universe and what indeed is being done to continue it. And of course, Mr. Home Arcade, he does his reenactments of the old vintage Master of the Universe commercials there on his channel.
You guys gotta watch his. Did you watch his new one? It's freaking hilarious. He does the He does like a car salesman, but it's for like
Oh yes, yes.
the He-Man vehicles. It is
Mr.
gold.
Hustler, I think he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. So he aims at more at the adult comedy there. So
Yeah, like the
no,
adult it's like adult
I agree.
parody. It's fantastic.
So taking more adult spin on the commercials there is very amusing indeed. And I can't recall who it was. Someone saying they liked how he did all his different camera angles and the way he presents it. I like it how he does the He-Man intro there, and he has him with his bottle, and
Yeah.
he sort of leans him forward a bit.
Well,
He, he,
it's
he
it's
can get
it's
he can get very expressive with how you're limited with the expressions on the figures, but different ways you hold them. You can hold them like this, and they're looking angry, or like this, and they're looking surprised, or or what have you. But yes, he's very gifted
yeah,
indeed.
it's interesting because it's a modern take on commercials, but at the same time doing parody. It's complete genius.
Indeed. So, many people are putting in an effort to indeed get the Master of the Universe out there into the public domain a bit more. Of course, everybody collects their own things, providing they receive that incoming knowledge of it. Uh, and some movies have regressed into TV shows like your Star Wars. There, we just had the Mandalorian season 3 drop on the Disney Plus there last night, or I think today for you lot. And yes, so some people are looking at moving things more into the serial type thing, but then I've heard rumors that they're trying to get back into the Star Wars movies again. And we've indeed had Willow come out there in the season 1 of Willow, and we had House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. So I believe there is a call for the fantasy genre. Indeed, of course, back in the 80s, you had heaps of them. Conan, you had Kroll there with his little spinny sword thingy, and the big mountain that always reminded me of something out of Star Wars. Big mountain traveling through space there, and of course, you can move to different areas on their planet and just vanish and be somewhere else and what have you. And you had to go and save that princess and so on. But and you had who was that? The Argonauts or something, and also your Godzillas and other monster type of fantasy films come out there. So yes, we are seeing a little fantasy being put out there, and of course you've had your gaming fantasy uh, titles also, World of Warcraft and all this going on, Elder Scrolls, shall we say?
Yeah.
Hold
We
on,
we
I
really
lost my scroll.
we really need a licensed video game of Masters of the Universe. We seriously do. Like, what is going on? We haven't had one since the 2000X one for PlayStation 2. We're on PlayStation 5. Where is the video game love for Masters of the Universe?
I believe there were a few projects that got started, but then for whatever reason they cancelled it on us, and the games are never produced. Uh, so it is interesting trying to find the balance
Yeah,
of
it's
ways to keep the media coming out to the next generations. Of course, you always having Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out, and the Ghostbusters has been making a bit of a comeback with Answer the Call, and then Afterlife just recently, and I think
yeah.
they're looking
Well,
to
they
do
they had that
they're
they had
looking to do
that
another thing.
they had that fantastic game on PlayStation 3, and it was to most people it was Ghostbusters 3 before the
Oh
Afterlife
yes.
came. It was fantastic. I still play it. So like if they can do something like that, Mattel, whoever these video game companies are, somebody can certainly come up with a good idea.
Of course, when they released Origins, they didn't really have anything to advertise it as far as
Right.
games or TV shows. I know they had been playing free to air episodes on YouTube there of 2000X in Filmation, and I think New Adventures now, and whether people are actively looking for it. Because if you're not, if you're only showing these things like the CGI He-Man or She-Ra on the Netflix, see, not everybody has the Netflix accounts, and not everybody can get their kids watching it unless they're playing it on another third party place like your Nickelodeon there or some other Cartoon Network that can be accessible for these youngsters to view it. But then you're competing with all the other ones out there too. I'm not really up with the play on what other cartoons are out there at the moment. And we've had your Transformers also as one that keeps reprising itself almost yearly or bi-2 yearly or something.
Yep. Oh, I see we got No Way Farms is in the house. Give you a wave. Welcome in.
Oh, yes. Good evening there, sir. Good to see you in. And yes, so it's a good thing to have in mind, doing what we can, as Mr. Home Arcade quite eloquently put it there, doing what we can to try and get Motu's name out there by whatever means, whether he's probably more aiming towards the adult audience, and if some older people come across the channel, oh yes, I remember Masters of the Universe there. Oh, these look like new figures or something. Might go and check them out there and get them for my kids or something. So indeed, the older generation can be reached as well to in turn reach the younger generation.
Well, that's a good point because everybody now plays video games. Like that is such a large media. It's so big. It's just as big as movies nowadays. So it would be perfect to bring in new generations into Masters of the Universe if we had a cool game. How cool would it be? Like Eternia Ellipse is saying here, an open Eternia world would be awesome. That would be awesome. Give it like something like Breath of the Wild, but Masters of the Universe, and bam, I'm telling you, you'd make some sales. I think it'd be really cool.
So it would have been nice if they had maybe a more updated Filmation cartoon. Of course, that costs some money, and they don't like to spend the money. They like to eat the profits. But yes, something for Filmation, because as you recall, Revelation was more of an adult-aimed cartoon, as indeed will be Revolution there. So the youngsters you would hope they wouldn't be watching so much of that with some of the content in there. Indeed, but it's good they had She-Ra out there for a while, that cartoon, and the CGI He-Man. And yes, so continuing on that line, we're going to look at some of the ways that the toy companies have been trying to indeed put it all out there. So we're moving over to Amazon in Mexico there. So here, after a bit of scrolling, we have come to Imaginext. Now, I believe they're sort of a preschool aimed toy line there. And so they have just dropped over the past couple of weeks the Imaginext Masters of the Universe figure, although no, that's probably a Mexican, I think, yes. So we'll just say a He-Man there. So, yes, he looks nice and big, something not too small for the youngsters.
So is that like I'm looking at the price there? Is that like a third-party price, or is that like normally what they would go?
That'll no doubt be in Mexico, so I think with currency conversion.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yes, that's what the case is there. So let's have a look at these other angles here. So you see, he's big enough for the youngsters to handle, not choke on any smaller parts, as it were. And there we see the packaging, a nice open packaging there. So indeed, cool. we have He-Man there coming out for the youngsters, and next with him we have Skeletor. So there's the Skeletor sculpt there, but not a bad head sculpt in him. It'd be a bit scary, I think.
Yeah.
But yes, no accessories, mind you. I suppose that won't stop the youngsters from putting something in the hands there. Nice, big open clasp, and nice moulding on his boots. So he was wearing boots this time, so you don't see his toes, as it were. So indeed, it's one way they've been trying to branch out into the new generation. There, nice bright yellow and blue packaging, all those colours that catch your eye, as it were. And you still have the bursting rocks, I see, harkening back to the vintage packaging. And no doubt the Masters logo coming up from the bottom there. So yes, it's something interesting that they've rolled out there, and of course we had not too long ago. Before this, there's like they're not Titan figures per se, but they're within that Titan scale. The more bigger with a little bit less articulation figures of, I think, He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Merman,
Beastman.
and
Yeah, I
so
like
forth.
the.
But
I thought the Beastman was very cool.
I've not heard much more on that. I think that was only rolling out in that particular country or something in the meantime.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
pretty
yes,
cool.
it's been good. But let's see what else we can see in the chat here. I just hope Bro can make something so the plastic dungeon grate can fit in his expansion for Castle Grayskull. So yes, Hebrew has been doing a lot of good work with his floors and his
Yeah.
walls there to add in with his Castle Grayskull. He's been printing a heck of a lot of those out for others. Also, a lot of work on his hands. He's got I see he's had lives there with two printers doing a lot of hard work there, pumping out all these different parts, and indeed that floor space when you add another section of Castle Grayskull. So using the laboratory half with the elevator, taking that off one set and joining that up with the main set there to
Right.
give him more castle enclosure, I suppose. So he's been slowly but surely releasing more of that out too. So doing his part there, I believe we say. And yes, well, one other fellow that has started recently doing his own thing to play his part in reaching the next generation is Masters of the Mini Comics. Robert there, I think his name is. So he's come off another line of work, and he's wanting to be a voice actor there. So he's begun releasing a reading of the mini comics with a few other people, myself included, playing the part of Zodak, the Cosmic Enforcer.
That's
And he's
cool.
got a
Yep.
new he's got a new story coming out soon that I did some recording for a couple of days ago. So looking forward to that indeed. So if you're looking for an online story to settle the kids down, I recall when I babysat for my niece, I put on Thomas the Tank Engine on the whole computer there before I put her down to bed, and she'd stand up on the edge of her porta cot and just start listening to that story before we put her off to sleep. So yes, so he's doing another bit of handiwork out there in the community, and indeed trying to continue the name and the brand of Masters of the Universe by showing you the mini comics up on his videos, and then having us and other people and himself doing all the voice work of the text bubbles and so forth. So yes, almost like an audio tape story, like you used to get back in the day, and you'd read along with your book or something. I used to listen to the Biggles ones in the World War II pilot. So yes, good things that have been brought back that we used to have in some form or another, whereby he's combining both the audio recording and the story together. Now that we had the video technology, so yes, we have a big part to play. I feel in making sure the next generation knows all about Master of the Universe, and hopefully this movie that's been talked about for so long gets off the ground there, and other things that can come out from that, maybe live action Master Universe TV series, because indeed we had the Game of Thrones and Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings, and I think they're looking at bringing out a few more Lord of the Rings films, aside from the, the, the ones that Peter Jackson put out there. I just finished watching those. Very interesting. This Tolkien fellow. He's very clever, very genius with all he built up in the world and the languages and so forth, and then the Hobbit films and so forth. So yes, it's a brave new world, as they say, and we've got to keep things going in order to make sure they don't fade out until distant memory when we are gone. So I feel it's a bit of give and take on both sides, really, with these toy companies. I know they probably don't care much about it, but really, you have a lot of loyal followers out there, and indeed, as we have been seeing them listening to some of these complaints that people had about the figures, and they've been making changes and so forth. So at some level, I do believe they care. Like you said, Adam, they do have fans working in the teams. I think there and what have you. Uh, so yes, keep spreading the word there around the youngsters and so on. And if a parent comes to you saying, "I don't know what to get him" or something for his birthday, and you say, "Oh, try this there, Master of the Universe" or something. But indeed, the hard financial times can be leading to many not buying all these figures up. So there's more to just peg warmers on the face of it. There are many other aspects out there that can contribute to people not buying so many toys. They're trying to recover their homely costs and food costs first after all this COVID business and so forth. And indeed, stormy weather we've just seen here in Eternia. Skeletor attacked us up in the North Island with massive flooding and the storm system of Gabriel, the cyclone that went on up there. So we've got a big cleanup, I tell you. Mud everywhere, tree debris and debris of all kinds, parts of buildings, and we've had devastated crops. It will take some time to recover before we have food, proper flow of food coming in. And of course, what's left, the prices have gone up on your vegetables and some other produce, and I found it hard to buy the eggs today. Oh, the prices have gone up on the eggs too. They had a bit of an accident in a laying facility. I think it went up in smoke, and they lost all their laying hens, which is sad. It also cut off that flow of eggs to the supermarkets and so forth. But yes, the food prices are skyrocketing and all over the show. And, yes, it leaves you wondering: do you buy the toys or do you eat? And so with that, we'll end there with our thoughts on the future in that part of the segment. And let's get back into the chat there because there's been so many of you joining us today. So sorry if we miss a few of you, indeed, but you are are needed on the channel and welcome. So Giraffe, they have weird crossovers with a VR video game, Rec Room, with a little pill running game, Fall Guys. Yes, a few crossovers I think right there. You had your Transformers and G.I. Joe for a while, and then Jurassic Park and Star Wars with Transformers. So crossovers are an interesting one there. I think we had Ghostbusters there and Transformers. No Way Farms. While I can't argue with an open world, perhaps a more Bioshock or a Deus Ex would be better with Mattel, with Motu. Some open world, but a bit linear as well. You need a lot of open minds there to give things a go. And I know some people have been rewatching New Adventures and 2000X to try and get into it, because initially many people didn't quite follow on. Indeed, with the movie they brought out with Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella, I mean, a few elements of that film really made it. And if they weren't there, then it's possibly would have flopped even more than it had. A lot of people wanted Battle Cat and so on, but I have heard that people say it likens more to the mini comics, how He-Man never really transformed per se. He remained as he was, but he did indeed get the power sword and so on, which you do see him use in the movie. He gets even more power than I suppose he had. But yes. So who else do we have in here? We eat, we grow, then we buy toys. In that order. Very important. We need the old grub and the fluids to survive and keep going, I suppose. Yeah. I don't think toys go all at all down that well if you try eating those. Indeed. Giraffe. No way, Vance. Yeah, something well scripted, a little restrictive and strongly story driven would be nice for a Master of the Universe video game.
Yeah,
Motu Arkham Asylum.
the Arkham games would be a good idea, because actually, Rocksteady themselves should pick up the license and do the video game, because the Batman games are so well crafted and so well done. That'd be a good company, perfect company to pick up the Masters line to do a video game. I think that would be awesome.
Yes, because as we mentioned, a few of these games have been tried, but they've never been released. I think one or two have found their way onto the internet that people have ahead we go of, and I believe you played one of them on your live stream there.
Yeah, it was just like a fan made one. It was like it was a beat 'em up, but it was a fan made one. It was just pretty cool.
So let's go into our next topic, and yes, so for a couple of weeks there we had a bit of a calendar drop for Entertainment Earth, and there were a couple of, I think there were going to be a couple of Motu things, but they turned out to be other die casts and whatever. They did say one was going to be Masters of the Universe action figures there. So yesterday we had that drop, which was Sorceress, Masterversal-Sorceress, Shadow Weaver, Pighead, and of course many faces there. And we did have the, but I can't find it. Oh, there we go. We did have drop the 4-pack of Wave 12 there, case of 4 figures. So you can grab all 4 of those in one shot, and it's still up for pre-order there. So it's a good spot to be able to pick up your action figures. I believe a Punk with Toys had a special code you could use at Entertainment Earth. He messaged me on the IG there. Or no, he commented on my post of this, I believe it was. So I can't quite remember there, but he must have a special code that he works out with them or something there. So yes, we did see This Way pop up around the time of Dark Evil in there. Of course, when you're all focused on buying the drops that you do know about, you're not really thinking about what else is there till I suppose after you've bought, and you're not it's not something you can put on your cart and then continue shopping, especially with these fast sales. We didn't well at the time. Nobody knew if Evil In would last that long, whether she would sell out quick. But yes, indeed, with these fast sales, you're not putting in the cart and then continuing shopping. You're going straight to all the jazz of purchasing a figure and what you're trying to get in there quickly, and then someone found out they had dropped wave 12 at the same time. Indeed, they managed to break a few hearts with those that missed out that first round. But no, there's a possibility here to get the case of 4, and yes. Also, we had what was it? A big bad toy store. They also dropped these figures there yesterday, well before the Entertainment Earth dropped there.
Yeah, I missed
So
out
yes,
on the tongue lashor once again because of my stupidity, but I did manage to get a Cobra Con, so
oh,
I'm very, very happy. So did you get a
that's good.
did you get a tongue lashor yet,
I,
Mr.
I, I,
Elder?
yes, I managed to get that in this pre-order we're seeing now. So we're here on the Big Bad Toy Store
Okay.
site. They've had a few drops there from the Four Horsemen, Mythic Legions, and Figure Obscura, and Combatants there, and a good few other things. Or see, we got more Transformers popping up, and but yes, yesterday before Entertainment Earth, they dropped the pre-order for Roboto, Hypno, and indeed Tongue Lasher. I took a bit too long on deciding on Hypno, and he sold out. You see, but I did manage to get in there and pre-order my mini comics Roboto and Tongue Lasher. So I see we've got Tongue Lasher here, and he's still available for pre-order. So that's good because I know he popped up a few times on
Yeah,
Entertainment Earth.
I actually
Single,
got
I think he's still there.
yeah, I believe he's still up. I actually got Eternity Ellipse scored one for me. He did the pre-order for me, so because
Oh yes.
I'm not able to get from Big Bad Toy Store, so he's gonna grab one for me. So the toy community is
Oh,
just so good because we're always looking after each other's backs.
yes, indeed, and I feel, yes, classics, mind you, it did bring it back for a while, but I feel with Origins starting, it's got people of the older generation, back into it again, and even scrambling to find the vintage figures as I have been. I
Right.
recently just acquired a vintage King Hiss and a snout spout, although I had to do a few repairs on him. Someone's hot glued his leg back in. So I see I can buy these little rubber connector pieces off this site that I usually buy from that helps you replace the rubber that has gone in the legs there. Although it looks a bit fiddly to do, but indeed doable with, again, a bit of effort. And yes, so I have been starting to collect some of the vintage figures, but mostly because I like to compare them with the Origins figures when I do my reviews, which I indeed have to be getting back onto soon. I've had a bit of a break, and yes, so Roboto soon, Mini Comics Roboto soon sold out. Uh, just behind Hypno
Yeah,
there.
that's a very popular one these days. Is that for all the repaints that we've seen and we've had, I find
Mm.
the Mini Comics Roboto is the most popular one.
Do we have any comments in the chat there, Adam? Say.
Yeah, we've got a few here. We've got let's see. We just got Ray Black is asking who's controlling the mouse, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it's just magic.
The Grayskull mouse. He's letting loose.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, it's
hopefully we do see a bit more out of that dungeon grate there. Aside from the dungeon grate and what we did get in the mysteries of Castle Grayskull set, and indeed Frogmonger recently, which I know half of you have been starting to get in hand now, but the other half of us are still waiting and hoping we're not cancelled on. I think a few did get theirs cancelled, and yes, there's that long wait in the limbo land there. So yes,
yeah.
I bought two others for two other guys. We got together to save on the shipping. Of course, Mattel Creations they usually have a standardized shipping cost there. So if you know a few other collectors near you, and they all give you their money, and you go and buy their figures on the day, and they give you a share, say a three-way or a two-way split share in the shipping,
Right.
that can help keep the shipping prices down for each of you. You see, so we've been doing that. I believe since just after Wanda there, I had the idea that someone gave me. How about we get together and save on shipping? So that kicked off. We're around the Grizzle sale, and then I also went in there and bought a few $1 in the made to order $1 sale for a few other people. So that was 7 figures. One guy wanted two, and the rest of us were getting one. I was getting another one to display loose, you see, because I was lucky in the first sale, and indeed got that one up. But the main shipper boxes have been looking a bit worse for wear when they've been showing up. Some of them have been dragged through a river by the looks of it. A bit of water damage I've seen in the 40th 4-pack.
Mm.
Boxing's all damaged and soaked and wet, and people have been contacting Mattel, and they've been dishing out refunds, and they had to for me because one of the Grizzlaws were a bit battered around and dented in, and on there made a box that you set the figure out of, and yes, it was nothing like my first Wonder, which arrived in immaculate condition. The box was almost as new of late. I've seen so many people ending up with all these bashed in boxes and only one little bit of airbag left, and a chain of three of them are all but deflated, and there's nothing really protecting them per se. So yes, we did have the drop there of Way 12
Right.
on BPTS first, and then of course soon after that they dropped Wave 8 on Masterverse with your Sorceress and Shadow Weaver and Pighead. I believe yes, they look to still be up on pre-order, but I do like all this intricate design work they've sculpted all over Pighead here, like in his helmet there, looking nicely detailed and sculpted.
Yeah, he
What are
looks
the
good.
comments? What are the comments there, Adam?
We've got Drafts giving a nod to Mr. Home Arcade saying the mini comic Roboto question mark. You mean Robota? She's hot. Everyone wants her. So that I believe that's a nod to Mr. Home Arcade's video. So fun
Oh
stuff.
yes.
And he's also saying the Savage Eternia Moss Man is the bee's knees. Snagged one and can't wait to see him in season 4 soon. So are they actually continuing on with the Netflix cartoon? Are they? Are we getting a season 4?
So yes, I think we had uh, uh, the Toy Habits and indeed Mega J Retro post about the show coming back, and I think around August, after a bit of up in the air, wondering if it was going
Cool.
to be cancelled or not. But it
I'm
just
definitely
looks
gonna
like
watch
we
it.
might
Yeah.
we might get one more season out of it, shall we say? And
Right.
then of course yesterday we had Mossman uh, drop for the CGI series. So simplistic Mossman there is indeed most of the CGI figures have been at a bit more cheaper price point to try and get the youngsters in there. He comes with a little bird, a creature. We don't know much about him. I don't know if he pops up in season 3 or not, but he might be a season 4 character we might see. I haven't quite caught up there in the CGI version. And yes, we're in the art book that came out. We've seen concepts for Grislaw, so that looked rather good.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
I watched up to
what?
season 3. Season 3 was good. Like it's a pretty good show. The Netflix series is really good. I think it's one of those shows like the 2000 and X where people are going to really appreciate it as the years go on
Hmm.
because it's actually pretty good in its own right.
And I wasn't too sure what this skeletal was going to be. All they had yesterday was just a logo picture put up there and said core skeletal. So I thought it was just going to be another re-release of the Skeletor we've already got. But I know I see there've been a few other different Skeletors out there, but this is the one they dropped there yesterday on the website. So yes, there was a good few drops there come available for you to get their hands on those figures.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Masterverse wave for sure. Like the Sorceress and Shadow Weaver, obviously, and Manny Faces and Stratos. I want all four of those. They just look so good.
Yes, so I pre-ordered that Mossman too, and indeed, we're still waiting on Origins Mossman. I have seen him pop up on the Lulu Baloo site there, along with He Skeletor, which was supposed to be a Mattel Creations exclusive. But it looks like Mattel had made, some people thinking Mattel made a lot of product there, and they're trying to source them out to do these different toy shops all across the world there to try and get rid of them, and what have you. So I do see they have had a few of the other Con or Mattel Creation exclusive figures listed there, but not currently available. So it's quite hard to gauge on that website, not knowing much about it. I see they do have a few things in stock there of Origins, but for the most part, those ones like Kodar that they have listed and so forth are not available. They just have it there, I suppose, for when they do get them in. But yes, with all this wondering whether things are going to move to online sales and what have you, it is indeed looking that way. But although we did have some arrivals coming in Australia there first. I think it was indeed we saw Wave 12 showing up there, but Wave 13 was popping up there. So would you like to talk a bit about the Wave 13, sir?
Sure. Do you have a visual to go with it?
Yes, we're just bringing that up in a short order there. So here we are on the Toy Habits website, and we're just going to find where our Wave 13 is. And there we are.
Right. So we got the Slamurai, our King Randor, the what is it? The Snake Trooper, and the Snake Evil. Or no, I almost said Evil in the Tila. That one's real. I almost said Evil in. That one's really interesting to me because I kind of guessed what they were going to do with her. I guessed that they were going to do the paint job just like they did with Jake the Snake in the Moto WWE line. So it looks as though they're doing that. So I thought that was really cool. And yeah, we could see the Slamurai. So are these photos that you're looking at down bottom, are these showing up in stores already?
So I believe this was a store in Australia. So we have had a bit of news recently of Wave 13 hitting Australia first. And
I actually missed that part of the news.
Because mostly these come out to the US first, you see, or indeed the countries surrounding, I think China it is, like Malaysia and what have you, although they've been having their troubles getting figures in stock too with the reports from forget his name, Ken there on his retro channel, forget his channel's name. But yes, they have reported, thanks to collectors overseas, getting the Motu Origins Wave 13 assortment before us folks here in the US, we can now pull all of the UPCs together so you can locate the figures at retail. We have already discovered the Motu Origins Wave 13 assortment on the Walmart prior to receiving these high-res images. So yes, you will recall they reported on the listings that went up on the Walmart website that did not have any images of the figures to go with them.
Right. Even though it's kind of like the reused parts wave, if you will, I think that they're still pretty good. I wouldn't mind. I certainly wouldn't mind having a Samurai because I wanted another Ninja anyway. So that's pretty cool. I think it's a pretty interesting wave. I do like what they did with the Tila. And who was the other one? Oh, right, the King Randor. Right, the 2000X Randor. Looks
But
pretty
there he
good.
is, yeah.
You're right.
Uh,
Yeah.
all noble on the pegs there. I see with Tila, she wasn't just a basic repaint of the Tila we had, because you will notice
No.
she has she has shoulder flares this
Yeah.
time coming off the body.
Yeah, and I still haven't figured out whether or not that's the same head sculpt as the one that came with the Zor, because it looks like she's got a ponytail in that photo.
Indeed.
I think it's
And
that one.
as we did see come with the Zoa 2-pack when I'm still yet to get there, she did have the more sticking out ponytail there, where the other one is just more closely molded to the head.
Right.
And yes, Samurai,
Looks
Slamurai
cool.
rather.
Yep.
Now we have seen a few ninjas popping up there. The same fellow. I think he's is he Radical Retro. I don't know. Again, he did a bit of a toys hunt and took his camera installed there, and he found about 4 of those ninjas.
Oh,
And,
nice.
I wished I was there. I thought to myself.
Yeah, me too. Because I only have one, and I wish I had more. I wouldn't mind having a second or third. Oh, there's a Snake Trooper. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Looks
so
good. I
a
definitely
bit
want
of
one of those.
troop building.
Right.
So, of course, you're reusing the Rattler head by the looks of it.
Is that what it is? Yeah, it does look like the
Yes.
Rattler head, doesn't it?
So a repaint of Rattler's head there. I suppose we were wondering what it was going to be, whether it be like Cobra Khan's head or something, but no, they've used that. And of course, I've seen a black armor a Horde trooper in that, I think it was a bit of a 3-pack there. A while ago, we got a red and black Horde trooper in that lot.
Does it show what weapon he comes with? I'm just curious what his accessory is.
Oh, I believe it was his staff weapon that the Horde trooper came with originally.
Okay.
I can't quite. Although it does look like the chest unit pops down. Of course, it kept that.
Yep. They're keeping
looks
that.
like a bit of a black, kept a black deco there. So
oh, so they are going with the black deco underneath instead of the red. That's
possibly
cool.
I've not seen any images surface as yet.
Right.
But I wonder if it's kept all the circuitry and stuff. I thought it might have been a bit of a snake body,
right.
Yes.
That's cool though. I hope they do that. I hope it is black. That's kind of neat.
But with all this reusing of parts, I doubt there would have been a resculpt for a snake body under there.
No, I doubt it. Because if it's all new, that'd be a whole different engineering altogether, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tila's looking good too.
Yes, she's looking rather good with all that extra paint deco.
Oh, I love it. It looks just like the Jake the Snake. Like, it looks good.
Well, though Jake the Snake was a bit different. I saw you pulling his head off there.
It's a little bit different, but the paint on apps is the same concept. Is kind of what I was getting at.
Yes. Although pulling the face off would have been an interesting feature there.
But that would have been cool, right? That would have been
rest
awesome.
Of her limbs, the rest of her limbs are painted. You see, so I don't know much about Jake the Snake, whether he had other green limbs or if it was just the head that looked snaky like.
It was his chest as well. You could pull the chest armor off, and it was all painted like a snake underneath too.
So I believe I have heard of it just starting to reach the US now in tidbits there.
Sweet.
So, I think still a bit more time for that yet to roll out in the stores. And of course, we've just had the I think it was this morning, we had a Duplico pop up on the Walmart website.
Right.
So we'll head over onto that and take a bit of a look. I indeed had a bit of a comment there from a group over here. He said he looks a bit like an 80s supervillain.
Yep. Oh, we got
Here he is.
Speaking Moistly's in the house. Welcome in, man.
Oh, speaking mostly, good to see you, sir. Welcome, indeed. So here we are, just looking at the Walmart drop. Now, I believe I heard from Michael at Toy Habits, at Toy Sorceress. She has found this to be a Walmart exclusive. There, I think he did pop up on Mattel Creations during that Valentine's Day sale.
Oh, so he was one of the ones that popped up. Okay, because he might have been one of the ones that I didn't see because he might. I assume he must have sold out then. He might have been the ones that sold out before I got to check him out.
We might just take a quick look there. I'm pretty sure I saw him show up, as it were, on the Mattel Creations, but it
Oh, right
did
now I
not
can go
last
ahead and
long.
check.
Oh, good there, sir. We're already in.
Okay.
And, oh, yes, he was there. Sold out. $18.
Okay.
So we'll quickly go on to have a look there. Where is it? Here we are. So here we are over at Mattel Creations, and indeed, we see Duplico since sold out, but he was one of the ones that dropped around the time of the Evil Lynn Valentine's Day event.
Oh, he was one of the ones that dropped on the God Evil Lynn because yeah, I knew the snake wave dropped or whatever because the guys were
Yes,
telling me in the
they
chat.
dropped as well.
Yeah.
So yes, I noticed that these fellas are starting to get picked up there rather quickly, going like hotcakes there, especially with Hypno and so on. So I have heard that people are a bit unsure about Rulers of the Sun, giving it was a bit of an obscure line, but was indeed designed to be played around with. Beside the Master of the Universe figures, it had a similar aesthetic there that you could bring into play with those of the Masters of the Universe toy line. And of course, Wiley Easton, I think her name is, she wanted to bring out a toy line that would uh, include children of all skin tone types, that they can see themselves as being the superhero, as it were, which is a very, very, very good idea and was something that was sorely needed back then. Of course, we did have Clamp Champ and Jitsu and those fellows, but yes, having a bit more in there, I thought was a rather nice story. Since I learned about it, I had no idea of this back then. You see,
Pretty cool.
of course, I'm not sure how far the line extended beyond the US. There, I think it was only sold in the US. Not quite sure on that one.
Right.
Yes, I felt it was good when I heard that Mattel decided to see if they could include the Rulers of the Sun into the Origins line, and indeed they've been incorporating it with the mini comics too. They've been
Right.
including some of the Masters of the Universe characters there, alongside the Rulers of the Sun in line. So I suppose, you can look outside the planet Etonia there to other beings on other worlds and what have you. So we had Ohm there at one point to come visit Etonia, and then he saw Skeletor. He was causing a bit of a fuss there, and he didn't want to have a bar of that, so he put He-Man up against Skeletor, but then he left peacefully. He's a very wise fellow, old Ohm. And I know his youngsters. They visit other planets. And they like to draw their art in the ground and in the fields. And I believe we call them crop circles there. So
Right.
they're relatively harmless folk. They just buzz about in there because as I say, they don't use paper or cardboard like you and I. They're made of pure energy, and they buzz about their fields during their different
Well,
arts.
we had a bit of a hiccup there.
I know the farmers. I know the farmers don't appreciate it
You're
all
hiccuping.
that much. But, oh, am I buzzing there, sir? So yes, we did indeed have Duplico arrive there at Mattel
Right.
Creations, and yes, just yesterday on the I think it was it Entertainment Earth, or was it? I've got my wires crossed there. I think it was yes, Entertainment Earth was a site he popped up on there yesterday, and no, no, we're back to Toy Habits there. So what other questions do we have in the stream there, sir?
We just have let's see. Hillian Dread is asking, I wonder how much harder Wave 13 is going to get compared to Wave 12. Fair enough. Yeah, I can just imagine it being probably just as difficult. If you want my opinion on it, it's probably going to be hard. At least here on the Canadian side.
Oh yes, I heard someone say he looks like Flash Gordon. You could use him in the Flash Gordon custom.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Use his head and then use the New Eternity He-Man's blue pants, right?
Indeed. So
Or New
next
Adventures,
segment
I mean.
there. Next segment there, we've had Mondo on the scene of late, with their Battle Cat and He-Man and She-Ra, and before I believe they did a prior He-Man and a Faker, and I
Yeah.
think maybe a Skeletor there. I
Oh,
know
I'm in
the
love with I'm
He-Man. I
in
know the
love.
He-Man. I know the He-Man and Faker figures. It's a
Yeah.
bit funny to some people.
I'm in love with that She-Ra that they did. Oh my lord, such a nice She-Ra. It's so beautiful.
But I see a few had a few mishaps, QC issues with the figures. He-Man popping off at the torso there, the midway of the torso, and She-Ra had some nose issues and also a hair attachment issues. One hair piece was supposed to have a special, I think, hole in the back so you could plug in the sword or something. But a few
Right.
people, I think Mega J Retro was one. He got his She-Ra with two of the same hair pieces there, and also
Oh, I see.
he had his He-Man pop in half as well. And so Mondo had been good, mind you, which is good indeed. Send people replacement figures. Of course, you just take the head off your uh, damaged He-Man or what, and plug it onto the new body. Of course, you won't get any of the extra accessories and things. And
Right.
then we've got to have. I think we had Battle Cat drop there at the same time as Eternia landed, and he was $500 also US. Um,
Yeah, they're a little pricey, but
he,
they're nice. They're really nice. I
Yes, I
really
was going
like
to
them.
say they included a nice story molded into his armor of all the prior battle cats and what have you
Right.
that were imbued with the powers of Grayskull before Cringer there, and so we've had all them come out, and now we're just waiting for the next bunch of Mondos to come out there. Indeed, so we've had uh, just announced the Mondo Trapjaw. As cold as the metal that is surrounding his body and making up for his some part lack of his limbs.
Yeah.
Indeed, his jaw and his right arm there. So
Yeah, it
yes,
looks good.
he's coming with a good amount of pieces there, as no doubt we have seen with the past Mondo releases.
Oh, okay. They're even doing the Chronos face. I didn't realize that. That's cool.
So will it zoom in for us? There we go. He's got a bit of a scowl there. The Kronos head.
That's quite the smirk he's got going on there.
Quite a nice sculpt, and I see an extra trap jaw head. Because we see there's a difference in the jaw pieces. This
So
is a more
is
square
the
design.
jaw not articulated, I wonder?
I would suspect it is, but see, they're probably more harkening back to the filmation.
Oh, I see it
You
now.
see, so
Yeah.
we have a
I
more
see.
rounded jaw
Right.
there
I see it
on
now.
this head sculpt. And then, of course, they've gone with a more square design in the jaw on this one. Indeed, he's got all his weapon attachments here down below. So a grappling hook and his
Oh,
swatting
that's
his
cool.
flies.
They're going with the grappling hook and the old like kind of like the bow sort of thing, whatever you want to call that
But it might
accessory.
be useful for a bit of a barbecue, I think.
You know what that
Put your
reminds me? You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me
put
of
your bit of grill there.
that reminds me of Baxter Stockman, the fly swatter.
Oh yes. So you see, you hold that over the barbecue, and I know put a few pike clips on there or something. And he has his hook there, and his blaster attachment.
Yeah.
And then you see him already housing sporting his claw piece there, and a bit of a crossbow attachment too by the looks of it. And we do have an extra arm piece here. Maybe in a post sort of cybernetic state. I'm not sure what that's from, but indeed they are. A lot of these things are, including pieces that harken to some past feature of the characters in Masters of the Universe. Indeed.
Yeah.
So yes, here it looks like his jaw does articulate.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah. So I'm wondering if the tongue is all cut up underneath that sculpt. It must be.
Yes, you can see. The icon coming up from the road. So yes, you can see some of the flesh looking like it's peeling up away from the lip there, or where the lips used to be, I suppose. But with all that
Right.
sharpness in the jaw, I suspect the skin would not last too long to all that grinding and what have you. Fairly nasty stuff, but yes. So you do note that this is the rounded jaw piece here.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
that other image, we did see the jaw was more closed. Indeed.
He is pretty. He's pretty scary looking. Like he looks very like something out of a horror film.
The Frankenstein's monster, you think?
Yeah, like it's a really like it's a dark take on Trapjaw. I think it looks pretty cool.
So how are questions going in there in the chat?
Pretty good. We've got which character would Earthquake be? Dubia J is asking. And of course, Turning Ellipse is saying, Jay, yeah, he sort of does if you put an American Nightmare on it with that skull and the way he has. Also, you may be possible be right on the parts comment you made.
Which character would Earthquake be? Have I missed
I'm
something
not sure.
here?
Did we miss something? Because I'm not sure.
I hope you can put
the
crossbow
crossbow
on the left hand if you want. I wonder if it might attach to a handle or some such. Some other piece, maybe.
Hard to say. I guess we'll
I
see once
we
see the reviews come out. I guess we'll see.
Now I wonder if he's hinting to some figure that's coming out soon. That's it might reuse a character's parts or something such. Curious indeed. Giraffe. The trap jaw is scary looking, but it doesn't look like a jaw. It goes up, passes up a lip, so it looks more like a apocalyptic motorcycle helmet. He's laughing. Yes, it does look like he's wearing one of those old style motorcycle helmets there indeed.
Yeah. I just think he looks very scary. Like he looks very terrifying underneath all that. It's a pretty
menacing.
Cool. Yeah.
I love these pieces on his shoulder there, sticking out. I wonder if they're just ports to put weapons on, maybe, or they're just part of the design. I feel
probably just part of the design. Mm-hmm. You might be able to plug you might be able to plug them on and off, though. Hard to say.
So let's have a look at that there. So you see him with the crossbow plugged into his arm.
There it is.
And we have him with his his other accessories hooking onto his belt, which we can see you can do with the Masterverse trapjaw.
Right.
I
And the
think
Origins, they all do it.
maybe the Origins. Oh
He
yes,
does.
I think the Lego minifigure does it as well. I had that one. He came with a looking like a Castle Grayskull blaster, or turret gun rather. And yes, we see, he has multiple uh, loops there for latching or hooking the extra attachments onto. That's good there. Looks like his crossbow might hang somewhere off his back, by the looks of it.
Yep.
Yeah, yes, very interesting. So, a lot of people are wondering, uh, will they face the same issues with this figure as they have indeed with the Mondo He-Man? But yes, no, he looks like a lovely figure, but the price point there, 235 US, and indeed that would be more Canadian for you there, sir.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be he'd be very
Indeed.
very pricey for us Canadians.
So I don't quite see anywhere that shows him holding the crossbow in his other hand with some other attachment. I think that's all just extra stuff to plug onto his arm there.
Probably more
But I
than
suppose
likely that'll be
you
the
could have
case.
him holding the other attachments as as he grabs them and plugs them onto his arm as he
Right.
does. And we do see some nice photography also. Be nice if they included a few of these photos in with the figure there. There's some
Yeah,
in
it'd
the
be pretty
packaging,
cool.
and you could frame those or something and pop them up on your wall and what have you. So yes, he's scary indeed. As cold as the metal and steel that makes him up there,
I like
rebuilds
how
him.
they included the loop on his helmet. They kept that intact.
Oh yes, a bit of a flying fox there.
Yeah.
I believe that's what the was that what the vintage trapjaw did.
Yeah. They had him like the idea was him coming zooming in on a wire, right?
Oh, how interesting indeed.
Yeah. It's like the old commercial.
So yes, as we look at the Mondo trapjaw staring at us out in the darkness, as it were.
Do you collect the Mondos, do you, Eldor, or no?
Oh no, a bit rich. I think on my gold pouch, indeed.
Yeah, same with
So
me.
I might be lucky to get an attorney a place at a fellow collector I know of. He bought two of them. You see, the second one he
Oh,
bought was after the crowdfunding had well finished, and somehow he found a back door in there on his. Although he was using a cell phone, so he must have been using the app, and he managed to get one more pre-ordered there. So
oh, nice.
that was an interesting feat there. I think I mentioned that to Mega J Retro, one of his lives, and he was quite shocked by that aspect as well. How could he do that? He didn't finish, but no, he shared with me in a private message that he'd somehow managed to swoop in on one more. Well, after I think a day after the set had finished crowdfunding there. Although I did notice the numbers disappear, I think by one the day after it closed, so some must
Right.
have cancelled theirs, I suppose. He's a bit did did take a huge chunk out of the many wallets there, especially a bit on the nose how they didn't start with their payment plan. They only bought that in a short time later, and their payment plan might have helped people, spread their payments out a bit further and not all, blow it in one go, as it were.
Right.
So, yes, that will indeed
That
bring us to
the
our last,
conclusion?
uh, our last segment of the night, which is the Masters of the Universe movie. Now, indeed, we've talked about how the 80s movie was brought out there. Sorry, sir, just having a bit of technical issues here.
It's okay. I can hear you good.
There we go.
Oh,
All
are you
fixed.
trying to bring up the web page? Is that what you're having problems with?
No, I had my toolbar. I believe we call it popping up there, and it was blocking the share screen toolbar.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I've been searching for a few updates there on this Masters of the Universe movie work, and this is on the Screen Rant website there, and there's a photo of Prince Adam, as we know from Revelation, and yes, do we have talked about why there are so many serials out for Master of the Universe, which is a good thing, trying to keep it all on people's faces and aware of it, which I suppose can indeed help out the Master of the Universe, because if someone younger has seen the CGI show in some form, they will indeed be able to pick up on the movie when we come to see it.
Right.
So they say it's coming along great. It'll be next year, coming right off Lost City. Was too tight. It's such a beast of a movie that it needs a real prep time. Yes, indeed. I believe the people that worked on the 80s film also were working on Superman at the same time. So you'll recall the intro there to Masters of the Universe. It sounded almost like the Superman intro and so forth.
Right.
So we're working on it now and working towards it starting next spring. The Nee brothers first signed on to direct Master of the Universe movie in 2018 and had been with the project as it underwent a variety of changes. So they've probably been taking their time to make sure they do make a good job of this one, because indeed you have so many fans there. I mean, yes, you can make room for creative interpretation, I suppose. It's always a good thing and something to be
Yeah.
aware of and bear in mind too.
You're no doubtly gonna have new characters, because new characters means new toys. So you kind of expect that.
Yes.
I just hope that they have a good strong story.
See, in some aspects of the 80s movie, mind you, the grandeur and scope of some of the locations they had before they ended up on Earth there, it did set a nice feel and tone from the movie. Indeed, Castle Grayskull looked mammoth in the model they had going on there, and some of the interiors that they managed to create were
Right.
rather big. And we've seen movies like that, like with June, the old June movie. They had some very grandiose sets made up there to create the idea of the world as portrayed in that film. So
Right.
here we are, casting. So they had casting changes uh, uh, from Noah Centino, I think it is, to Kyle Allen after the multiple delays. The project finally gained new ground in this past January when Netflix acquired the rights to the movie from Sony. And
Right.
the past star Kyle Allen was cast as He-Man, and Shang-Chi as the legend of the Ten Rings character, Ten Rings co-writer David Callahan had planned the new draft with directing duo. Interestingly, Master of the Universe filming update from the duo contradicts recent reports that the Netflix title would be kicking off production this June in New Mexico. So it's so very exciting, really, and we did see that actress come out with a bit of a fan film or
Right.
what do you call it, audition videotape, Tila and the Masters of the Universe. And so, yes, she did a good job in there. and showing her range of combat skill and what have you. But I suppose with her being able to do a bit of work in that sense, no doubt actors will go through more training and indeed they'll have more trained double ups or whatever you call it there, the double actors, stunt people that sometimes step in place of the actor to do all these crazy somersaults and what have you.
Right.
No doubt. But
They
indeed,
haven't. Have they announced the actor for He-Man yet, or no?
no, I think it was that last person I mentioned. They're going through a couple of actors or something and so forth.
Okay. So
So
nothing's set in stone yet.
possibly not, but indeed they have been taking their time to work on it by looks of this update. And so while it is a year old, I did manage to find a video of some concept art done by one Eddie Del Rio, who mastered the US movie in production.
Oh,
And it
nice. Yeah.
cycles through a couple of nice stills there. If we go back, we'll just track through it as we go. So here we have Man calling on the powers of Grayskull, of course. Here's a similar chest look to say 2000X He-Man.
I was just gonna say that it looks more 2000X.
Hmm. So carrying on, we see the forces of Eternia stationed outside Castle Grayskull with these mammoth walking striders, stridors rather.
Oh man, is that I can't make out the vehicle. Is that Man at Arms riding on the
So
chariot,
there'll
or
be a battle
is that
ram.
the battle ram? Okay, it's the battle
Yes,
ram.
that's a battle ram. Yes, it's been covered up by the play feature. This, so we'll let it cycle through and just give our thoughts. So there they are, poised for battle in front of the attack tracks. Big mammoth carrier vehicles that I see for uh, the battle rams. So here we see the Talon fighters, a few sky sleds up there in the sky, followed in tow by
Is that
this
the
massive
Adronians that
striders.
were? Is that the Adronians that were flying in the sky, or was that Wind Raiders? Couldn't make out the image.
I would suspect they'd be Talon fighters, perhaps. Maybe they do look more
Oh,
like
maybe
Wind
it
Raiders.
was. Maybe it
Although,
was. Yeah.
yes, they did have an open canopy, so that would suggest possibly Wind Raiders.
Is that the attack
So
track?
yes, he's laying in the suppression fire there, I believe you say.
That's okay. So yeah, that looks more like a Wind Raider to the right, and then it looks like a Talon fighter to the left.
I would say so because although this looks more like an up close side-on shot of this vehicle here, so it does have the earmarks of being a Wind Raider because it was an open canopy. You see,
Right.
the Talon fighters are more closed canopy. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see, but these are just the concept images, mind you. They do go through a
Yeah.
bit of a process there in the movie making stage, and they often yes change the looks of things. Here we are,
Hey.
the sky sleds.
Yeah,
In
they
formation.
look spot on. The sky sleds look good.
And here we
Oh,
have the battle
nice.
rams.
Yeah,
I do like
I
the
like the
weather effect
design.
there in the background.
Hey, we've got.
Here's Orko.
Oh, oh wow, he looks like humanoid. Like he's too big.
Indeed. Here we have
Rotons.
Rotons with mountain cannon railguns there by looks of things.
Not sure if I'm a fan of that design. What do you think?
So we do see a few flying about that are more closed up. Some more like a Roton in the air, but these look more like a Roton like tanks or something. And
Yeah,
we do see what appears to be troops uh, in between them there.
that might be those horde robot thingamajigs.
Oh, yes, it's true. Although he did have robots too at one
Yeah,
stage.
he had them
I
too.
think
Skeletor
Skeletor
had
there.
them as well. So that's
Yes,
probably
because
what those
these
are.
don't appear to have any legs on them. So they
Right.
look more like
The hover
Skeletor's
bots.
robes.
That's what they were called. The hover bots.
Yes, yes. So
We got
they resemble more that.
Pink Panthers in the house and figuratively speaking dropped in.
Oh, good to see you in the chat there.
Yeah.
Figuratively speaking, my good sir. And who else did we have pop in?
Pink Panther
Big Panther.
saying hello to
Oh,
us.
there you are. Greetings there. Welcome indeed into the news hour. We're just closing up, talking on what our thoughts are on the Masters of the Universe movie that
See,
apparently has been hard to work
in
on.
this image, it looks more like a Talon fighter to me.
It does sport the colours, the orange and possibly the blue.
Yeah,
And then we had the
that's
flying
definitely
rotons there.
the Roton there. But
The flying saucers.
the design is so different.
Oh, here he is, the master of chaos, Skeletor.
Hey,
The
we got
darkness there.
Brushstroke just dropped in too. How you doing, my
Oh,
friend?
brushstroke. Greetings there. So yes, we're just ending up our new segment here, going over these concept images from last year by Eddie Del Rio for the upcoming Masters of the Universe movie. So here's some more images of Skeletor.
So do you think they'll go with the story of him being Keldor first, or do you think they'll just jump kind of like in the middle where he'll just be Skeletor?
It is interesting, although we had so many different stories. Of course, the mini comics started out. He was just a barbarian in the land and was given the armor and power sword by was it the green teal sorceress or something? And I think Skeletor was
The
either in
Green
that or
Goddess,
another one.
yeah.
He had the Green Goddess, and I think it was either that or somewhere else. Skeletor was a being from another planet and dimension. Of course, with the other astronauts, along with Melina. I think she ended up on Eternia, but the astronauts ended up in this dark world that Skeletor existed in, and it changed them into Evelyn and Beastman. I think Triclops.
I bet you.
I don't
I
know.
bet you. If I had to guess, I bet we'll get an origin story, but it won't be until the second film because it seems like they tend to do that with movies. Like, you know what I mean? They'll kind of throw in the middle of somewheres, and then the next film it'll be like an origin story. I find a lot of films do that nowadays.
And here we have
Video
the Dungeon
games too.
Great. So we see the Orlex poking its
Oh, there's the Sorlax.
his
Yeah,
arms out. There's another
yeah.
hand there.
Where's
Bit of a snake.
Frogmonger? No Frogmonger in there.
Where
Yes,
is he?
he's there. Yes, he's there. Look at him. You see him there?
Oh, the eyes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see his
There he
hand
goes.
too. That's awesome.
I guess you can make out the hand. And what else we have? A bit of a fanged beast by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Someone died there. Oh, I would like to be sitting in amongst that lot, I tell you. And we do see someone walking like it's like a bit of a walkway where you might push people over or something into the cell. So there's someone walking across a bit of a bridge there
Yeah.
in Castle Grayskull.
That's cool. It looks like they're going like based off these images. It looks like a very dark tone film, and I think that would be great.
And here we have it, the Snake Mountain. There's a snake head there, I think, or the demon head rather. Oh,
It looks
a bit of battle
different.
going on. So I don't know where that is, but I wonder if it's within Snake Mountain there.
Could be just across the fields or something.
And there's Castle Grayskull again, with looks like a wandering hero approaching it with Cringer there. Oh yes, you can tell it's Prince Adam because he has the vest on. You can make out the sides of the vest.
Right.
And
The color of it. You can see the color of it too.
Oh, we've got an ad. How quaint. Yes, be careful in the hot weather there. Okay, that was the end of it. So,
Yeah.
Indeed. Some interesting concepts out there from last year. It does set a nice kind of tone in those artworks. The giant stridors. I did see another concept image where they crouch down and you jump onto the back there, and they're a bit taller than a horse, mind you. But
Yeah.
yes,
Well, based off a
you
lot
place
of
yourself
those,
in there.
based off a lot of those images, they seem to know at least the lore of a lot of the He-Man stuff based off a lot of those images. Especially when you see the Sorlax and you see the Frogmonger in there. That's that's a good sign that they're paying attention to the lore.
And indeed, a lot of the art gives you that impression of some of
Right.
the artwork you got in the mini comics there. That world that we were first shown all those years ago in those little comic books that you got with the action figures. So I wonder if they'd indeed set that kind of tone and feel into the filming work there.
Yeah. Of course,
It's
in film
sort of
sometimes
rustic,
things. Yeah.
and what have you.
Sometimes stuff gets cut in films too, right? So hopefully they don't cut too much.
A nice, well balanced meal, shall we say?
Right.
Not just your fish and chips.
Well, if it's written really good and the story's good and the actors got chemistry, they could really pull it off.
Indeed, and let's get back into the chat here.
Yeah.
Right. And Brushstroke he said his greetings. Yes, it's good to have you coming in here. Make sure to rewatch the rest of the news there if you like at your leisure. And yes, Brushstroke. Fascinating, Captain. I was unaware such a movie was in the works. Should be interesting if it's completed and when it's completed and released. Uh, yes, we're all waiting to in earnest to see what they're going to do there. They've been back to the drawing board a few times. I believe they started work on this back in 2018, as was in the article there.
Yeah.
And going through some of the casting changes for He-Man or Prince Adam, or rather. I know a good many people have had their ideas of who they want to be certain characters, like Man at Arms. People have been bringing out a few different names there in Hollywood. There could be him, like that recent fellow from Stranger Things, uh, the, the the Marshal there. At Hopper, I believe his name was. Some people brought his name out, and there was one or two other names there that people feel would be fit for being man at arms, indeed. And I think we did see some AI artwork out there a wee while ago. What the Master Universe characters will look like in real life, as opposed to the animated counterparts in filmation or what have you.
Yeah.
Figuratively speaking, I wonder if they will introduce Ceros.
He's referring to the 2000X Serpos,
Oh,
which is a pretty
Serpos.
which is a pretty cool character. But I think if they were going to do something like that, they would probably do it in a second film. You know, because it's kind of like a Snake Man sort of thing. Like not necessarily, but it kind
Yes.
of leads into that direction. So I think if they were going to introduce characters like that, it would probably be a second film.
See,
That's what I
it
think.
seems to be the way things have gone. We never really
Yeah.
got in depth into the Snake Man. It's always just been Skeletor and He-Man, although they did bring out the Snake, King Hiss and the Snake Man in 2000X there to give that a go, indeed. But yes, just like the 80s movie, we did see some new characters like a Salrod Blade and one or two others there. And I think they tried to get a pig boy in, but
Yeah.
they ran out of time, I think, and they just had to make do with a bit of a mask or something.
Yeah, that was kind of strange that they had some really strange characters in that movie. They really did.
Oh yes, Gwildor was one. He's another new character
Yeah.
there.
Well, I think he was to me he was always the Orko replacement because they didn't have the funding to
A
do
few
Orko,
said
right?
that, yes.
Yeah. I think that's fair a fair assessment to say.
But even though he's a character you would expect to be living on Eternia, nonetheless.
Oh yes, for sure.
Indeed. So
Yeah.
let's see now. Giraffe said a shadow beast with that earthquake buck would be neat. Buy a few of those.
Yes.
Earthquake must be a different figure there. But indeed, hoping for some shadow beasts in Masterverse soon. The only beast we've had really is Battle Cat there. So
Right.
indeed, we need to see Panther out there and the battle beast Beastman after Sorceress Evelyn or Godlin
Yeah.
or Darklin
They.
as they're now
I'm,
calling her, transfers her powers as she has them onto Beastman there to transform him.
I'm actually surprised they
So
didn't do Panther Masterverse. That's a good point.
I think I did hear some talk about him, but yes, we're still waiting to see if they'll do a Panther in the Masterverse line, but it's indeed more of an expensive figure, around the $70 mark when it hit over here. Although, mind you, I managed to get him with God Skeletor for $80 there. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I
a rather
scored.
goody dodgy. That was a rather
I,
good deal there.
I scored my Masterverse Battle Cat, I think, very, very cheap. I remember pretty sure I caught him on a good sale over at Toys R Us. I think that's where I got him. I can't remember. Wherever I got him, I know I get a good sale on him.
And indeed, we did see it reprised in the Virgil or Blow or what his name is, that artist that sadly passed away there, I think last year. He was
Mark
he was in the
Taylor?
works. He was in the works of bringing out those monotone figures of the Revelation.
Mark
The
Taylor,
ones
wasn't
they
it?
got out there. No, it's the Virgil or Blow. Or I think that's what it is.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes, so that they did a series of those monotone figures without any paint tabs, so just done in a bronzy type of chocolate
Right.
color. And he had different titles for them, like he and she and all this and what have you. And yes, I see those are all sold out now. So they did indeed do a Battle Cat in that line. They brought him
Yeah.
back out again, but there was just a limited run, exclusive thing there. Well, I think we might call that the end of the news segment there.
Yep.
And we do indeed.
Orko's gotta have a royal feast. He's getting hungry.
And we'll do the last question there from figuratively speaking. I got my Battle Cat for $17. Oh, you are finding all the bargains there, so.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, indeed.
I know I
Yes,
got mine cheap too. Yeah.
I see a few have been making customs of the Battle Cat there. Some adding furs to the armor and chains around the legs there, and chain or fur wraps around the legs, and then chained with a bit of a covering. That one looked rather nice, I thought.
Yeah.
But, yes.
So
more
before
customs
we
should be had.
before we sign out, what do you got brewing up on your side of the of Eternity over there for videos? What do you got coming up?
Well, I had to get back onto the video reviews. Indeed, I've been taking a bit of a rest from that, but I decided to start off with a small unboxing shorts there. Although the last short was a bit too long to be a short, so it was uploaded as just a normal video there of just random unboxings and what have you. And the last one I got from the BPTS there.
Cool.
I got Roboto with Zodak and Shira. So then we also
Wonderful.
had those out in stock there still, I see. So you can get your hands on those figures still there. And I got a spare Jitsu from a store over here. So I'm giving that to Oz because he's having trouble finding a Jitsu. And I did buy two others for some custom works I have on the go. So yes, that's another thing I'm running at the moment. I'm doing videos as I make my custom figures there from start to finish, and I just talk about that as I go, and some people can see how I do my customs and thereabouts. But it's going to be take a bit of a while to get all that filmed out. It's going to be done in parts, and then I'll have to, crunch it down to a smaller, manageable viewing time for the audience here, indeed.
Yeah.
But try not to keep you too long, but indeed, I try not to be a one-hit wonder at the same time, as it were, and just a short video and then I'm gone. So, yes, that's another wee aspect there called custom figure time. So that's a new segment I'm developing to put onto the
Nice.
channel there, and so that the next review will either be a whiplash or snout spout or who was the other one there? Oh yes, Cobra Khan. So
Right.
I had a bit of material I need to get before I film that review. So it's a
Right.
bit on, and then I just recently recorded some voice work for Masters of the Mini Comics. Now, I talked about him earlier about how we're looking to continue the future of Masters of the Universe, and he's doing some good work on his channel, reading out the mini comics and getting some people to help him do the voices. So with that, I placed his link to his channel in the just channel in the channel description. We placed there. If you haven't checked out his channel, please do, and like and subscribe to follow him, and sit in if you're having just finished your dinner or something, and you're having a quiet spell in the evening, and put on a few Masters of the Mini Comics there, and so forth. Just to wind down the evening or something. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
put it on for your young ones before they go to bed. You can
Yep.
listen to a story. So I'm voicing Zodak, the Cosmic Enforcer, in that, as I had been in one other story there. So
Yep.
this one, I believe this one's a bit of a double feature. His next one there, and
Oh,
we
that's
did try
good.
to get him as a guest on today, but he had a bit of sports on. You see, bit of tennis there.
It's
Uh,
all good.
uh, so next time, indeed, we'll catch him. It was a bit short notice, but we'll try to get guests on there, and also too, I'm hoping to interview rather, some personalities out there in the Motu world, or the influencers out there, and I'll have a different co-host with me each time. So I'm hoping to get that off the ground too, and indeed, if some of these guests agree to share some of their time with me for that, and indeed with you also. And yes, so that's about all I have on the go. And of course, our news segment here, which we're still ironing things out, but we'll get there eventually. Masters of the Motor News. So indeed,
Oh
I
yeah,
thank
for
Adam
sure.
for co-hosting with me on that. It's been good for the channel there, just further talking about the latest news as it's dribbled out there into the
Yeah.
cyberverse. And what about you, Adam? So, what you got
Well,
here?
we're gonna be doing Masterverse Shira this Friday. So over at Radical Toys, we're gonna be doing
Mhm.
Masterverse Shira at a regular 11 p.m. ADT time. I also have a Ratlore on his way, thanks to Eternity Lips. He purchased one for my birthday. That's on its way. It's already been mailed
Oh,
out.
yes.
And I also got a Cobra Khan, so he'll be coming in the near future as well. So we've got those figures coming for unboxing. And then, of course, whatever drops throughout Mattel Creations Live, because, I always cover that stuff live. So we're keeping an eye on that stuff as well. So that'll be fun. So that's what's kind of been brewing around for the Radical Toy side.
Oh, they're very good indeed. Yes, our community has been rather good at coming out there and helping out
Oh,
when they
yes.
can, and
The, the, the,
it's
the
a good feeling to continue that with other people as well
yeah.
when they can't get a hold of a figure or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was very, very happy to get a Ratlore, so I'm very excited. Can't wait to get the unboxing for that one.
Well, indeed, if that's all you have to share there, Adam, sir. We'll indeed sign off from the news tonight, and we hope you
Yep,
have a good journey as you go out and about in the coming weeks. Uh, all of you who have been in the chat there today. And yes, We
Okay.
don't say goodbye. We say good journey. Until
Good
next time.
journey. Until next time, guys. Thank you.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.